We are live from High Point Solutions Stadium on the campus of Rutgers University. This is the Central Group 2 championship game, and it's only live on News 12 Varsity as the 8-3 Hillside Comets will look for their second ever sectional crown as they take on the undefeated Point Pleasant Boro Panthers. Hi again, everybody. Dan Savarino here with you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Josh Noble, our producer. Well, it's a pretty nice day out. Sun is shining, not too cold. Here from Rutgers University for the first game, the 10 o'clock action between Hillside and Point Pleasant Boro. Point Pleasant Boro unstoppable this year, coming off a win over Manasquan 27-6. Their head coach, Matt Salento, in his second year at the helm. And on the far side, for Hillside, in his second year, it's Barris Grant, as this team just made their very first playoff appearance since 2008. Only the third playoff appearance in the last 17 years, and now they are part of that final 23. Hugo Carricho will kick off from right to left for Hillside. Their white uniforms, tops and bottoms, with the gray numbers, white helmets. From left to right, it's Point Pleasant Boro. 12 minutes on the clock as the pigskin sits on the pylon. Enrico A. Jr. for this Hillside group, coming off a win over Johnson in their second meeting of the season, 19-16, stopping a final drive in the fourth quarter. An INT is what did so. Uncharted waters for Hillside. And here we go. Squibbing it on the carpet, and a roll right into the hands of Tanner Gordon. He'll be tackled inside of the 20-yard line. Nice pursuit by Hillside. James Farah, number 12, the senior. Very elusive, running this triple option for a group that has been averaging 28 points per game and has scored in these playoffs close to 30 per contest. 68% completion, 589 in the air, 6 touchdowns, did not throw an interception. But he is mostly a running QB with more than 1,500 yards and 23 touchdowns. They'll take it from under center as they'll begin from their own 18. First play is a carry right up the gut. And the tackle is made by Christian Young. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Point Pleasant Boro. Landis, Bonavito, Fatizzi, Lavalsi, and Francescini are the front five guys, the skill positions of Kominski and McNamara. Gilmore and Gallagher will also be out there at wide receiver, but on the wings, you'll see Cipriano, Chiarello, and then Tanner Gordon. And this will end up being an offside penalty on an encroachment. It'll push it up 5 yards. So Hillside with the first penalty today. Second down and 3. This group will go with Gordon up the middle, who has more than 600 yards on the ground. And you have to always be worried about the outsides of Cipriano, who is coming off a 102-yard, 2-touchdown game. As it will be kept itself by Fair, and that will move the sticks for a first down up to the 31-yard line. Point Pleasant Boro, 3-time state sectional championships, last one in 2005. They also went 12-0, something they would need to do today in order to achieve their 4th ever state sectional crown. But it's their first finals appearance since 2007 after a year last season where they fell in the first round to Menards, eventual runner-ups to a very tough Manasquan group. Went 8-2 for the last 2 seasons each. Running ahead and getting up to the 35 is Farah, and he gets it to the 35 for a 4-yard pickup. As the last 2 years, he has been a Division Player of the Year. Just a phenomenal athlete is James Farah, the senior, at 6'1", 185 pounds. Only 2 100-yard games in the air, one of them coming last time out. And expect them to try and control this time of possession as he'll work under center from the middle of the field. Gordon is the lead back, and he'll check down, showing blitz. And hitting the gap hard is Tanner Gordon, but a nice tackle made by Najee Peel. Let's take a look at the Hillside D, which has been surrendering 15 points per game. Frimpong, Cotton, and Ramos, along with Ugu, Young, Peel. And in the secondary, you'll see Boris Nicholas Paul has been outstanding this season. Jalen Speedy Niels, Jadon Udi Willis, Emmanuel Sass. So a 3rd down and 4. Barra in the backfield. Great pursuit by Young and Ugu. And that should bring out the punting unit here on 4th down and 6. Barra had nowhere to go and ran right into Christian Young, the team's leading tackler with 110. You also see him at the fullback position upcoming. So back to receive this punt is Nairi Biggins. It's a good end-over-end kick. Fair catch will be called, and he'll flip the field to the 33-yard line of Hillside territory. Tajai Irby, the senior cornerback. This was a kid who was a starting point guard in basketball, just a first-year starter. And Barris Grant, who knew him from the neighborhood in his 2 years, said, we're going to come out and be our QB at some point. Well, that's exactly what happened. Knew how good of an athlete he can be. Didn't play football for a little while. Now he's throwing for almost 1,800 yards, another 143 on the ground. So 1st and 10 back from their own 33. Man in motion will be Biggins. Nicholas Paul motions right. 2 receivers on both sides. The handoff will go to Ugu. And Ugu goes outside of the numbers. There is a flag on the play before he reaches the 38-yard line. And then a second flag comes right in front of the Point Pleasant Boro bench. So this will have to be sorted out. Could be a personal foul penalty towards the end. While it's being looked at, let's take a look at the starting lineup for Hillside. Malign, Wheeler, Shaw, Frimpong, and Diaby are the front 5 guys. The skill positions of Nicholas Paul, Udi Willis, Biggins, and Amisa. You'll see Christian Young come out as fullback, but Ugu and James Lewis are the 2 lead backs, 1 and 27, with Ugu more than 1,100 yards on the ground. So it is a holding penalty that will push Hillside backwards, but the ball will end up being up at the 39, so offsetting fouls take away any possibility of losing or gaining more yards. So it'll be a 2nd down and 4 from their own 39, right hash marks. Empty backfield now as Irby will dump it off. This goes to Nicholas Paul, and the speedster picks up the 1st down. Take a look at the defense for Point Pleasant Boro. Gordon, Labalsi, Bonavito, and Howie are the front 4 with the linebackers of Chirello, Romer, Sanchez, and Leda. You also see Kaminsky, McNamara, and Callender in the secondary. This group has been giving up 12 points per contest, and they haven't been surrendering many points in the second half this season. That is their strength, this Point Pleasant Boro defense. They are a machine. As this handoff will be bouncing outside, and just a 2-yard pickup as James Lewis gets his first touch. Another sophomore with more than 1,000 yards this season. It's not often you have a quarterback who has thrown close to 1,800 yards, which actually he surpassed at this same series, but have 2 backs who still have a year and 2 years of eligibility remaining and have rushed for more than 1,000 yards. A 2nd down and 8 from the 47, right in the middle of the Rutgers logo. Across the middle on a slit, and it hits right off the body of Amisa. Nice coverage by the corners. Callender was there on the cover. She's the one who had a huge INT that set up the third touchdown in the final minute of a first half against Manasquan before they really blew open that game. So 3rd down and 8. And the Point Pleasant Boro fans start to get loud on the far side of the field. Hillside, a team that 2 of their losses coming. A team in a different section, Group 3 teams. Rawway and Cranford and then Johnson. Well, they were just the better team as they'll air it out down the left side of the field. They got Udi Willis, but incomplete. Boy, he had a beat on his man, Callender. Just could not pull in the catch. So that will bring out the punting unit just inside of midfield. And you take a look at this replay one more time. He had him wide open at the 20-yard line. That would have been 6. So both teams grabbing first downs and a punt on their opening drives. Carrizo's punt nearly blocked. A fair catch is called at the 21-yard line by Cipriano. And the second series for Point Pleasant Boro comes with 6:58 to go here in an opening half. Point Pleasant Boro, Hillside, it's the Central Group 2 championship game. It's only live on News 12 Varsity. And we thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday morning. Honestly, could not ask for a better day back-to-back years here at Rutgers for the 4 contests that we will be bringing to you live on News 12 Varsity. It is a day where we hope that my voice holds up by the 3rd and 4th games, but excitement throughout as Gordon will take a carry and pull his way up to the 29-yard line for a nice pickup. Point Pleasant Boro winning the Shore B South Conference this year, perfect 7-0 record inside of their conference. The 7-yard pickup for Tanner Gordon, who has been the lead back of this team in the triple option. Farah will pitch it outside. And a nice, good burst up the right seams will pick up a first down for Cipriano. Nicholas Paul on the tackle. 3rd or actually 4th on the team in tackles out of the strong safety position, which they knew that they would be moving him up more to a linebacker spot. Expect to stack the box a little bit more against this run-heavy group. Chiarella motions and then comes back as Farah checks down on a 1st and 10 from the 38. Flag in the play. It will go against the Panthers. So a false start penalty will back them up 5 yards. Just a real good atmosphere as always here at High Point Solutions Stadium. It is an honor for both of these teams to get to this point of the season. To return to the finals means so much to each individual community. Matt Salento telling me early on this week, just the support throughout this entire program just shows the high character, hard-working individuals from the Shore. As Farah will pick up the 5 yards and another 2. So up to the 40-yard line for a 2nd down and 8. The kids feeding off of the support that they've been getting from their community. Had more than 3,000 in the stands at Center Field on that Friday night win against Manasquan for that local tough contest. Their defense has been the name of the game. The triple option has been run to almost perfection each time out. Under 5 to play here in the opening quarter of a scoreless contest. 2nd down and 8 from the 40-yard line. To Gordon. Works up the seams and picks up about 3 yards. That was Kwabena Frimpong on the tackle, the senior with 74 tackles this season. His brother, Kwame, is a starting right guard. So 3rd down and 5. And Hillside looking to force another punt situation here in the first. This is what this group can do to you. They can beat you on the outside with their speed. Those are their breakaway plays. But they will continue to pound you, and pound you even more right up the middle. As Farah looks to throw for the first time, it's a little dump off. And he'll find Chiarello, who will lose one and picks up the first down right at midfield. Chiarello, just his 2nd catch of the season. Again, like we said, he's that guy who can give you fits outside. And he'll continue to run and control this clock. But he plays on that opposite wing with Cipriano. And those two really cut off the field in half for this group. Between those two, and then you have Gordon up the middle and Farrow, who can kind of do it all. And talking to our buddy Greg Lerner, who has covered this team plenty this season here on News 12 Varsity, he said to me, Farrow might be one of the more elusive guys you see, of deceptive guys when holding on to the pigskin. You never know if he's going to pass or throw. So encroachment penalty, another 5 yards, 2nd one today against Hillside. 1st down and 5 from the 45 of the Comets. Fourth season they've been in this Central group, as Cipriano will be in the backfield and smothered by a group of white jerseys. There is also a flag on this play. A holding penalty against Chiarello will back him up. It's actually going to be declined. So instead of losing another 2 or 3 yards, Coach Grant for Hillside elects to lose the down and the 5. So back exactly at midfield, 2nd down and 10. With a triple option, of course, you have to look at the blockers on the outside too. The guys, when they don't have the ball, they are just as important, if not more so. And this will be in the backfield too. Cipriano nowhere to go. Najee Peel, the linebacker. Great pursuit in picking up the fake. Peel, another returning starter. His defense on the season has been very impressive. And the one word that Coach Grant gave, they are fast. Boy, are they fast. Might not have the strongest guys out there at points, the most intimidating up front, but they are so quick to the ball and know how to tackle, and it's all you really need. 3rd down and 13 after 2 consecutive losses and tackles per losses. From their own 47, Farah pump fakes, rolls out far side. He's got plenty of open grass. Only one man to beat. He's taken down at the 45. That was Biggins saving a 1st down. But at this point of the field, on a 4th and 3 upcoming, you wonder, do you go for it? And it looks like they will go for it. Farah does the punting duties. And I'll make one substitution as McNamara comes onto the field. Farah will go. 4th and 3 with a minute to play here in the opening quarter. And a flag. Delay of game on the offense. So maybe just the hopes of Hillside jumping off, but that's actually not the case. If you look at the coaching staff on the far sideline, they are very unhappy about that situation. Makes a 4th and 3 to a 4th and 8 and a punt. Second time they will punt it away. Biggins back to receive. Farah takes the snap and gets it off. Biggins from the 18-yard line and grabs 8 yards on the punt return. So after 2 first downs and potentially a 1st and 10 from exactly midfield. Actually, it was a 1st and 10 from the 45. 1st and 5 from the 45. 2 big defensive stands by Hillside, followed by a 3rd one that saves a 1st down attempt, and then a penalty results in a punt for Point Pleasant Boro. And with just 53 seconds on the clock here in the opening quarter, Irby will come out for his offense. From the 26-yard line, he works from the right hash marks. This will be Willis, and he'll be stopped for a 1-yard loss. Garrett Romer, who is their big key on defense, closing in on a century mark in tackles this year. First-year starter, the quarterback of this defense, number 9, wearing all black. So with under 30 seconds to play in the quarter and counting, could potentially be the final play of this first. 2nd down and 11 after a 3-foot loss. Irby works from the gun. Chest high snap, pump fakes, throws down the left side. As Mia, it's caught at the 45. Tiptoes down the sideline. He'll be tackled inside of the 10. Tanner Gordon saves 6 points. But Hillside burns them, going vertical. And that ends the first quarter. So we'll flip to the opposite side of the field with a fresh 12 minutes on the clock. It is scoreless in the first, but Hillside is knocking on the door for the first score of this game. We'll be right back from Rutgers. It's the Group 2, Central Group 2 championship game, and it's only live on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. Central Group 2 championship game right here from High Point Solutions Stadium. Dan Savarino with you. Thank you so much for joining us. A big play as Mia picks up just his 7th reception of the season. And it absolutely flips the field, as will be a 1st and goal from the 4. Point Pleasant Boro punting their first 2 series. This is Hillside's 2nd possession. 1st and goal from the 4. They'll look to run. And Ugu will just pick up 2. Such a powerful back, and what a great story he is. Comes from Nigeria, asked his mom, can I play some football? When he was in 8th grade. They talked him into it, talked his mom into it. And as Barris Grant said, if you think he's good with the football, just wait till you see him with the soccer ball. More than 1,100 yards on the season. They give him just 1, so it's 2nd and goal from the 3. Irby from the gun. The handoff. Ugu looks outside, tries to muscle his way through 2, but it'll be just back to the line of scrimmage. McNamara and Romer. Actually, Kaminsky, the cornerback. So the secondary with a smart heads-up play as Ugu decides to go to the right. So 3rd and goal from the 3. A switch in some personnel as Irby will run out and direct orders. Lewis is the lead back. Timeout's going to be called for Hillside. It'll be their first charge timeout. So just 92 seconds into this second quarter of action, we are scoreless between Point Pleasant Boro and Hillside. And again, this is game 1 of 4 today. We have some really good ones upcoming throughout the day, of course, including this one that you are enjoying at the moment. At 1 o'clock, it's a top 20 battle, top 25 battle. Number 24, South Brunswick, will meet number 6, Manalapan. This group is meeting in a championship game now for the 3rd time. That'll be a 1 o'clock start. At 4 o'clock, you'll see one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the Garden State. Freehold Boro's Ashante Worthy closing in on the first ever 2000 and 2000 season for a New Jersey quarterback. They'll play Long Branch. And then at 7 o'clock, Rumson Fairhaven look for their 5th straight sectional title against Somerville. 3rd and goal from the 2. Irby keeps it himself, runs up the middle, twists around, he'll be short. Grabs just a yard up to the 2-yard line. So, 4th and goal. They've only attempted 1 field goal this season. Carrico is 0 for 1. They will go. This Point Pleasant Boro defense, all season long, including last contest. They vent, but they don't really break. Irby works out of the gun. The handoff. Moving forward. It's a touchdown. Hillside's on the board, and it's Biggins. So Biggins from 2 yards out. His 5th rushing TD of the season. Also has another 8 touchdowns receiving. But that puts Hillside on the scoreboard for a 6-0 lead. Carra goes out, end over end, 2 wide left. So a 6-0 advantage. Just 2 minutes and 13 seconds into the second frame. Every week for Hillside, it has been their Super Bowl. Exact words from Coach Grant. Making the playoffs for a team that last year tied for the most wins in the last 5 years. They went 4-6. Each of their last 2 years, they went 4-6. First 500 and playoff appearance since 2008. Just the 3rd playoff appearance in many of these young men's lifetimes, 17 years. Most wins since 2008 as well. At 8-3, they lead 6-0 against Point Pleasant Boro here in the Central Group 2 Championship. As Halley will bring it up to the 37-yard line. Point Pleasant Boro trailing in this contest. He'll come on out after a series that was running so well. It was 1st and 5 from the 45 of Hillside before 2 losses. And then eventually a delay of game on a 4th down attempt resulted in a punt. Now they'll go from right to left, and Farrell run right up the seams, cut back right, cuts back left, and he is inside of Hillside territory. What a run. Up to the 45-yard line. Point Pleasant Boro in that first quarter had the football for 9.5 minutes, but it is Hillside whose second series, after a big play, as Amisa will pick up a reception and bring him into the 4, and then a 4th and goal, scores it. Farah again, and he is tackled at the 38. Hill with a nice tackle to slow him down. James Farah, get a dual threat quarterback who has been averaging 8.5 yards per carry, more than 140 on the ground per contest. They'll go 2 to the right, 1 receiver to the left. 2nd and 3 from the 38. Farah holds it himself. He's got the first down once more, lunges forward to the 30. Farah has been the straw that stirs the drink for the Panthers. Multiple touchdowns his last 5 games, and rushing touchdowns in every contest but 1. Last game, still had 121 yards on the ground. Here he takes a 1st and 10 from the 30. Holds it himself, wrapped up in the backfield, and keeps moving backwards. There was about 3 Comets who were coming at the speed of a comet against James Farah. I'm going to say his progress stopped only 3 yards back, so very fortunate wasn't more. 2nd and 13 from the 33. Farah. Uku! Another tackle for a loss. So very similar to the last series for Point Pleasant Boro. A couple of first downs, followed by good field position, and then pursuit to the backfield by the Hillside D, using their speed to their advantage. Ugu was the big target that Coach Cilentro, I had to say, got to keep an eye on this kid. Ugu is a phenomenal athlete. He's big, he's strong, and he's quick to the ball. So 3rd and 17. First down markers at the 20. Play action. Farah across the middle. It's caught by Cipriano. He will be short of the first, but they are 2 yards shy at the 22. So no question, this is go for it on 4th down. Kaminsky will come out and be replaced by John Callender at wide receiver. Fourth and 2 from the 22. Farah works under center. Loses the football. Hillside says they have it. Either way, it's a turnover on downs. Just a missed snap. So while things were looking pretty good for Point Pleasant Boro, it is this defense of Hillside that steps up big. So with a 6-0 lead and 6:10 remaining in the half, they'll look to drive from left to right from their own 22. Playing at Rutgers, of course, so big for this Hillside group, who has not been here very often, as Lewis will take the carry and work down the near sideline for being pulled down at the 39. It's another 1,000-yard back, just a sophomore. The unsung hero of this team, says Coach Grant. One of the fastest guys in North Jersey, in his opinion. Had a good freshman season, made the sectionals of long jumps, and then his eyes opened even more when he got to those sectional finals in long jumps and said, man, this kid could be really something. The more work he gave him, the better he was. And the eyes just widened even more for Coach Grant. 1st and 10 from the 39. Namissa motions right. Irby, here comes the pressure, gets the throw off. It's caught by Nicholas Paul, spins around, and he'll get it to the 40-yard line instead of a loss. But something for this group that they spoke about was to be a part of the last 23. The 23 state sectional games that are played here in the Garden State. Knows it is a privilege, something not many can do. And for Coach Grant, who coached for a couple of years as an assistant with his brother Darnell, it is a very special weekend for them. Right now on News 12 Varsity, Darnell's Shabazz group at 11-0 is playing in back-to-back sectional state championships. Irby will be tackled for a loss. Lavolsi, first one on the stop, the junior, who had 14 tackles against Manasquan. So 3rd down and 11 for Hillside in this 6-0 lead. Under 5 to play here in the half. From the 38, Irby rolls right. He's got the protection, now throws. It's caught by Biggins, but was he out of bounds? They will call that a catch. Up to the 49-yard line. That's exactly where the marker is. It's a 1st down. Well, maybe it's just our angle up here in our press box. It almost looked like he was out of bounds on the catch. A nice grab will continue this drive. So 1st and 10 from the 49. Ugu gets the call. Breaks 2 tackles before he hits the 49 and is bowled backwards. This group has been tested this season again for a team that won just 4 games last year and historically over almost the last decade have not been in deep playoff runs. But the loss to Johnson on October the 6th, 22-13. For a conference championship pretty much. And Coach Grant saying, listen, they were just the better team that day. We got beat, but to face them again in the semifinals, we knew we would be tough. Showed how determined this group was as Lewis gets up to the 48-yard line. Open field tackle made by Bonavito. Who works at nose guard, hurting all of 2016, but has slotted right in as the starting nose guard this season. .3:15 to play here in the second, leading 6-0, and it is 3rd down and 8 from the 49-yard line of Point Pleasant Boro. Irby from the gun. He looks to throw here on 3rd down, airs it out near side of the field and out of bounds. Intended for Jalen Speedy Niels. So 4th down brings out the punting unit on a 4th and 8. But a drive that ate up a good amount of this clock and got about a quarter of the field up. flag on the play. So false start on the offense. Carrico's going to have to use more of his leg. But Hillside's quarterfinals win over South River, where that pass rush really slowed down an elusive South River attack. And Hugo even saying it, feel our DBs are some of the best out there, but we want to give them a little bit of extra time. We wanted to try and take some off. It's a very generous bounce for Hillside on the fair catch. Will roll right to the 10-yard line. So an excellent punt by the junior Carrico. And Point Pleasant Boro has their backs to the end zone with 2:43 remaining, but still all 3 timeouts and down 6-0. Last couple of drives, it has been 2 first downs, good field position, and then eventually tackles in the backfields. Last drive out was a turnover on downs. They punted on their first 2. Now they work from their own 10-yard line. The handoff will go to Gordon, and he picks up just 3 yards. It's Tanner Gordon, a senior. Returning starter and one of the leaders of this team. Something that I personally tend to ask a lot of coaches towards this point of the season. Who's been that one guy this year who has stood out to you the most that maybe you weren't expecting to have as big of a year as they had? As Gordon will grab another 2 up to the 15-yard line. And Coach Salento is telling me, I don't know if I can really pick one guy. It's more of the core itself. Because a lot of people were making 2016 out to be almost like a rebuild kind of year in the last few years, but in reality, that wasn't just the case. You have to give a lot of credit to this senior group of Farah, Gordon, Girello, and many others who have really stepped up. As Farrell looks to throw on 3rd down and 5, gets past a sack, throws it out to double coverage. It is intercepted by Biggins at the 45-yard line. All defensively, things just going right at the moment for Hillside. As the first real long throw intended for Cipriano by Farah was into double coverage. And Nari Biggins, the sophomore, with his first INT of the season. 95 seconds remain. From the Point Pleasant Boro 45. It's 1st and 10. And Hillside will receive the pigskin to start the second half. As an elusive run by Udi Willis. He's still moving and churning those legs. And eventually a whistle comes as he hits the 36. Tyler Sanchez on the tackle, along with 3 others. Willis on the end around. Again, a junior who has been the second leading target this season with 26 catches, just his 10th carry. 2nd and 1 from the 36. Right hash marks. Irby works from the gun. Rolls left and sides to just give it to Lewis. Well, actually only pick up really nothing on that. So that will bring a Hillside timeout with 47 seconds. And a 3rd down and 1 will come. Timeout Hillside, their second charge timeout. They're down to just 1. Still 47 seconds on the clock. If you're just joining us, both teams punted on their first drives. Then Point Pleasant Boro, after a nice drive into Hillside territory, resulted in a punt themselves. Now Mrs. Big reception flipped the field and brought it down to the 4. And then a 4th and goal from the 2. Biggins rushed in from 2 yards out. PAT missed. 6-0 lead and that was just 2 minutes and 13 seconds in to the second quarter. Since then, strong defense, a turnover on downs, and an INT has given Hillside the pigskin for a 3rd down and 1 from the 36. Irby stands in the gun. 2 receivers stacked on the right. The handoff to Lewis. Works outside. It's a loss. Lavalsi and Romer were the 2 on the tackle. So with 30 seconds and counting, Hillside's not using their timeout yet for a 4th and 1. And now they will. So they're out of all timeouts. Again, you have to go just 3 feet. You still got 18 seconds left. That gives you basically 2 shots to the end zone. And you are getting the football back to start the second half. At the same time, do you really want to give Point Pleasant Boro a chance to drive the field with only 18 seconds, but all 3 timeouts? Yeah, it's not a lot of plays for a group that, again, is a run-heavy offense. 6-0 lead for Hillside as we're here in the Central Group 2 championship game. 10 o'clock start, and something that, again, neither of these teams are generally used to is 10 a.m. start. It is always the weird time to get used to something like that. A couple of minor adjustments by both. And with a long layoff going into this, Point Pleasant Boro was practicing at that same time and trying to do stuff around 10 o'clock, such as meetings. Irby, here on 4th and 1, drops it off. Biggins with the catch, the first down and more. He's got some open grass. On a 4th down, they will score and extend the lead. An INT by Biggins leads to a touchdown grab. Boy, it has been the Nari Biggins show. An interception, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 1 in the air. They're going to go for it on 2. 7 seconds remain here in the quarter, and they have double the lead. Trying to earn back that PAT miss, which basically happens every time you end up missing in the beginning. You're just playing catch-up from there on out. Time will be called by Point Pleasant Boro. Going to try and keep this at just a 12-point game. But what can you say about Nari Biggins? We take a look at the replay one more time on the big board here. It's a little drop-off, and Irby threading the needle. He had guys in his way and perfect touch on the ball. And once Biggins found his open room, broke 1 tackle, speeding his way into the end zone. And how about this sophomore today? He had a streak of 5 consecutive games with a touchdown reception, which snapped against Johnson in the semifinals. Well, guess what? He just made up for it. Team's leading target, more than 700 yards coming into today, and 8 touchdown grabs, which also was a team best. Up to number 9. And a 2-point conversion upcoming. And don't forget, Hillside will receive the football to start the second half. They are loving life on this near sideline. Almost all the fans are on their feet to come out and support here at High Point Solutions Stadium. 2-point conversion. Amissa Willis and Nicholas Paul, the receivers to the right. Instead, they'll run the football, and a 2-point conversion is successful. So that grabs back the PAT miss. And Lewis just bowls his way with a nice block. Holds on to the pigskin. It's a 14-0 lead for Hillside. 7 seconds remaining here in the half. So a 36-yard touchdown reception by Biggins. 2-point conversion by Lewis. 14-0 lead for a team that has not won a sectional championship in 27 years. 1985, they won the North 2 Group 2 title. They went 11-1 that season, defeating Madison for their lone sectional championship. This is just their third finals appearance in their program's history. And there is a great energy in this building over the last couple of weeks. And I can tell you that as I was on the phone with Coach Grant, and he was in the hallways at one point, and you could just hear in the background the excitement, people stopping him along the way while we're trying to talk. And Coach Grant kept apologizing to me, saying, "I'm so sorry," but you just hear people saying, "Coach, can't wait for Saturday, can't wait for Saturday." Just a great buzz in this community. Now this will be grabbed from the 30-yard line by Howie. Second time, he will bring a kick return back. Still 2 seconds on the clock. So you want him to just be a kneel down to avoid any mistakes. It has been a tough going to start for Point Pleasant Boro. They've been able to drive the field at points, but a turnover and losses in the backfield. They'll spread out here from their own 40-yard line. Just 2 seconds on the clock before we wind out this opening half, and Farah just charges forward. Zeros on the clock, only up to the 46, and that will do it for the first half. 24 minutes in the books. It's the Nari Biggins show. An interception, a rushing touchdown, and a touchdown reception. A 14-0 lead for Hillside. The 8-3 squad looking for their second ever sectional championship. They get a nice ovation as they look to walk underneath the stadium and into the locker room. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so to begin this second half of action. It's the Central Group 2 championship game from Rutgers University, and it's only live on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to News 12 Varsity for the Central Group 2 State Sectional Championship game. Hillside leading Point Pleasant Boro 14-0 after 24 minutes of action. Dan Savarino here with you. Thanks so much for joining us from Rutgers University as Hillside will receive the pigskin to start this second half. White uniforms, tops and bottoms with the gray numbers and the white helmets. Point Pleasant Boro, and they're all blacks with the white numbers. They will kick off from left to right. Nate Chiarello will do the kicking duties. Fresh 12 on the clock, pigskin on the pylon. We're underway for the second half. Thanks for joining us as Biggins takes it from the 20-yard line, and what a first pass he already had as he jukes back right, and he's up to the 46-yard line. Boy, he has had himself one first half, and taking a look at some of these numbers for you. 2 catches for Biggins for 47 yards, including a 36-yard touchdown. He had another rushing TD, which opened up the scoring. 6 tackles and 1 INT. All for the sophomore, Nairi Biggins. Throwing-wise, Irby is 7 of 10, 134 and a touchdown, including a 71-yarder that went to the hands of Amissa, which led to the first opening score. They'll take it from the 46. Ugu spins around and then is met by Romer. There is a flag on the play.
Romer on the stop. Penalty marker down. And we have a Panther injured.
And there's also a Point Pleasant Boro player who is injured on the field. It is a holding penalty that will back Hillside up. We're taking a look at some of these first half numbers for you. Time of possession in the first quarter was all Point Pleasant Boro, and even in this contest, 14 minutes and 26 seconds. Hillside eventually now up to 9 minutes after really controlling the football for 7+ in a second quarter where they scored all 14 of their points. 134 yards just to the 22 for Boro in passing, where rushing numbers on total offensive plays, just 99 yards of offense for Point Pleasant Boro. But a turnover on downs, they punted a couple of times, and they threw an interception. First downs, 6-5 in favor of the leading team in this game. And now they will have a very first and long. It's first down and 20. And they will have to go to get their 7th of the contest. Lewis, the leading rusher for this team with 19 yards on 4 carries. He will get another call here and pick up 3 yards. So another second down and 17 upcoming.
Advance to the 39-yard line. In 3, second and 17.
Hillside, their best season in a long time, playing in a state sectional game. Means so much to this community. You can even tell as they have lined these stands on both sides. Student section in full support for both of these teams. Biggins motions right. Irby takes the snap, has time in the pocket, airs it out, across the middle, looking for Willis. It's pulled in at the 30. Zidane Udi Willis. And they'll flip the field again, going vertical. Well, Willis had a play on their opening drive, which would have been 6, but he dropped the football. This time he reels it in to the 27 of Point Pleasant Boro. They'll run up to the 20-yard line. James Lewis, who has been the lead back today, coming into this contest in 10 games, 1,016 yards, 7 rushing TDs, averaging 18 yards per carry, believe it or not. But he had rushing touchdowns, 6 total over his last 5 games, and in 4 of his last 5, including last contest against Johnson. He had 7 carries for 152 and 2 touchdowns. He'll get another call and only pick up about a yard. So it'll be a 3rd down and short for a group that was 2 of 5 in the first half. Point Pleasant Boro needing a stop here and in 4-down territory. Irby works from the gun with Ugu to his left, and they'll pick up the 1st down as Bonavito comes in too quickly. So penalties have really hampered this Point Pleasant Boro group. Both teams coming in with just 25 yards of penalties, 4 of 25 for Hillside, 3 of 25 for Boro. But it's just the timing sometimes of these penalties which have hurt the team wearing all black. As Ugu takes the carry, hits the gap hard, keeps moving forward, and he's inside of the 10. Late flag on the play, and it looks like it will be going against the team that needs it the least at this moment. As we wait for this call. It's going to be devastating to go down 3 scores. It is a personal foul penalty. So based on this spot, it'll go half the distance to the goal. Like we said, it's just the timing of the penalties that Point Pleasant Boro has taken them. Knocking on the door for a 3-score lead. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4. The handoff to Willis. He's in. A 4-yard touchdown run for number 4. And the lead extends another 6 points. So just 3 minutes and 6 seconds into this 3rd quarter. 20-0 lead for Hillside. And they're going to go for the PAT. Carrico missed his last. He was 35 of 40 coming into today. Just 1 of 2 last game, which was the first time in 4 that he missed. And he goes 0 for 2. 20-0 is the lead. So once again, it's like deja vu. A big vertical play, which flips the field. A penalty by Point Pleasant Boro, which hurts them twice. And then a touchdown. This time, it's Udi Willis. First rushing touchdown of the season and 7th total. Willis started the play with the big reception. He caps it off. When Barracks Grant took over this team 2 years ago, he was a phenomenal high school player back in his day. At Irvington, played college football at Mississippi State before a career-ending injury. Said he always had his eye on Hillside, telling the local press during the course of this season, because it was right next to where his mom lives, and always enjoyed the community aspect. A rich football town, even though they haven't had a ton of success. So when they took over, despite all the lack of winning seasons, he knew this was going to be a town that if they start winning, they would come out in numbers. And he has been like a second father to many of them. An article on NJ.com back in late October, many of these players have said, I always hope that coach has success even after I graduate because of what he's meant to me. As Kaminsky will take it from the 25 and nowhere to go. Great special teams by Hillside to kick off this third quarter. He credits a lot of the senior leadership of guys like Branch, Elijah Cotton on the D-line, Irby, Frimprong, but what many of these players have said countless times, even with 4 or 5 sophomores, as you saw some big sophomores coming up huge today, and underclassmen, it has just been a family community as Farah breaks one tackle, not the second. Christian Young, first one on the pursuit, along with Matthias Ramos. It's an area that Point Pleasant Boro really hasn't been used to. Lakewood is the one game that comes to mind. They were down 21-6 at halftime. Kids were resilient, chipped away in that contest to continue this perfect season. And that's one of the games that they had the most adversity. Otherwise, for the most part, they have been in control of the contest. And Farah has really not been able to generate much. In the first half, he had 57 yards rushing on 11 carries, but lost 9 yards on those carries. And is lost on his 2 for 2 yards to kick off the third frame. Third and long once again. They were 1 of 5. Third down and 12 from the 23. The chant of defense, defense rings over High Point Solutions Stadium. Farah fakes the pitch, looks to throw. Now he's going to the legs. Farah cuts past Willis. He's got some open grass. Past the 40-yard line, the 45. Jukes past midfield, and he's taken down inside of Hillside. And then more rough stuff on the far side will bring in a plethora of laundry. Teams will be separated here. But James Farah picks up the first down and more. And on that far side, the tackle, which I believe was Biggins, not Ugu, who was on that far. It actually was Biggins. He was just standing up and saying, I didn't mean to pull him down late, hoping he wouldn't get a penalty, and then a penalty that will hurt probably Point Pleasant Boro here big time. They'll control the football, but it will absolutely hurt them more because of a late penalty. And they have to hope that nobody gets ejected in this game either, because there were some extracurriculars. It was a late push on the sideline by one of the Panthers, who took exception to a late hit. Let's get the calls. So both dead ball penalties and offsetting personal fouls. So you wonder if the first flag came in for Biggins, and that could have given Point Pleasant Boro even more yards. However, a penalty on the sideline will just wipe away a chance to gain more. But still, go back to that elusive run by James Farah, which goes unnoticed after this last situation. Farah pump faked, broke about 3 tackles on a huge third down run that continues this drive. And he is the straw that stirs the drink for this offense. He goes as they go. Player of the year in his conference. And I think Coach Grant's going to want to get an explanation after watching the replay here at High Point Solutions Stadium. And again, that is one thing that many of these teams are not used to, the fact that you can watch a replay on the scoreboard. It does not alter any call. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 46 of Hillside. In the backfield. John Callender coming in from corner. Boris Nicholas Paul coming in on the corner. So another 4-yard loss. This has happened plenty of times. Losses of 2, 3, 4 yards at moments. Cipriano motions and runs back to his original position. He is the motion man. Farah flips it over to him. Cipriano along the near side. He'll be tackled, so they'll pick up at least the 4 and another 3 to the 43-yard line. So a 3rd down upcoming. Just converted on their last drive. This one a little bit more manageable with under 6 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. A 20-0 lead for Hillside. Point Pleasant Boro needs this drive more than anything. Farah checks down at the line of scrimmage. The lead back is Tanner Gordon. From the near hash marks, a flag. It will go against the Panthers. That's 4 penalties in just this 3rd quarter alone for Point Pleasant Boro. They had 3 penalties in total back in the first half. Playing here, and it's been a common thing spoken about, as Point Pleasant Boro will speak about the upcoming play for a 3rd down and 12. But something spoken about from almost every coach throughout this weekend. It's just the opportunity to play in a state sectional championship. It just means so much to these kids, and something that you talk about for years and years to come. You have those reunions, you come back, it's things you talk about to your kids. They always say, "Dad, I really don't care," but it's still something that you hear from the time you grow up, and it's an honor to play in one of these final 23 games throughout a course of a season. Whether it is at Kane, where we have coverage throughout the entire day for you, at MetLife Stadium, or even here at High Point Solution Stadium on the campus of Rutgers University. To play in it means something, to win something even more. And right now, Point Pleasant Boro with an 11-0 record on the line will look to win their 4th, but they trail by 20. Hillside has been tenacious. Defensively, they have been all over the place in the backfield. Only have given up maybe one big play, you can say, and it was the last one by Farah. Now it's a 3rd down and 12. 1 for 6 on 3rd downs today. Cipriano motions. Farah will hold it. Jukes up ahead of the left seams, and it'll be a 4th down and 8. So at this point of the field, again, it is still a 4th and 8. Looks like the punting unit will end up coming on, electing to take this a safer route at this point of the field. Be the 3rd punt for Farah, averaging 31 on his punts. Biggins back to receive. He'll throw instead, cross the middle, incomplete. He had Christian Oren, a junior, number 7, who was darting right up the middle of the field. You kind of felt maybe you would try a trick play here. He just overshot him. So it's a turnover on downs instead. For the 2nd time today, and Hillside will take over from their own 44-yard line. Looking to extend this lead. Boro showing blitz as Irby stands in the gun. Lewis taken down by Garrett Romer.
Lewis stopped immediately by the 27, Tommy Massey. Correction on the tackle is 9, Garrett Romer.
They knew how athletic Hillside would end up being in this game. And with so many skilled players playing fast and aggressive, they have almost the same mindset, both of these groups. Defensively, this has been a group that, again, has been bent but hasn't really broken until recent. This team has not given up many touchdowns. They've held to 2 touchdowns or less in their last 3. That ended today as they look to the air on the far side, and it's an incomplete pass. Amissa. Tanner Gordon on the coverage. Amissa already had the big 71-yard catch before. So 3rd down and 9. From the 45-yard line. Again, this defense for Boro, though, 29 total points in the second half. They have shut out an opponent 7 times in the second half this season, not today. As Boris Nicholas Paul is wrapped up in the backfield. They read the fake the entire way. 4th down upcoming and the punting unit.
4th down about 11. Brandon Cipriano deep for the Panthers.
3rd punt today, and Cipriano is back to receive. He has not returned any of those 2 punts. Carrico's punt, end over end. Fair catch is called. Takes a bounce and touched at the 30 and probably could have gotten another 2 or 3 yards. Emmanuel Sass will mark it down at the 28. So first 3 and out today for Hillside. And now the Panthers needing to put some points on the board. 2:50 to go here in the 3rd quarter. They trail 20-0 here in the Central Group 2 championship game. And it's only live on News 12 Varsity, game 1 of 4 today from Rutgers. Farah up the gap. First one on the pursuit is before Asudu. Still churning those legs, and the whistles will eventually come. And now a late flag. Of course, there is some tension on the field over the last couple of plays. Both coaches sure preaching the same. You got to stay level-headed in this situation. Personal foul penalty against Hillside. So move the ball up to midfield based on the spot. First and 10 from exactly the 50. Just to the left of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights logo. Farrer goes under center. Gordon the lead back. Play action. Farrer rolls near side, gets stumbled, and then falls. Christian Young again. He has been all over the place. And Farrell with the play action. As soon as he saw some open room, tried to move right. Had a man coming there. With Frimpong knocking on the doorstep. Even though he fell down, that stutter took away any opportunity. Play action, and a flag is down. false start. Point Pleasant Boro offense just not in sync at the moment.
Correction, 2nd and 21 every snap.
2nd and 21 upcoming. Back in August, this team, in the last 2 years, they were saying, let's just go out and start to be able to compete. And as the season progressed this year, they just continue to grab more and more confidence. Matt Salento telling me that this group just found their way throughout the course of the season. That's what shows you the 11-0 record as Cipriano on the pitch keeps moving, and he was not down originally and got another 4 yards out of it. Well, it's something they always teach young football players. Keep moving your legs, keep moving your legs. Good things will happen. Play to the whistle. And Cipriano on plenty of open grass, the speedster. And according to the officials, his knee never came down. From the 37, Cipriano in the backfield. Who else? Biggins. Nairi Biggins has been an absolute monster today. 10 tackles last contest. He's closing in on the same number. Also had a fumble recovery TD against South River in their quarterfinal matchup. The sophomore has 2 of the 3 touchdowns. 2nd and 9 with 30 seconds to play here in the quarter. Farah just jolts forward to the 37. So 3rd down upcoming, 15 seconds on the clock. We'll see if they try and run one final play. It looks like they will. Runs up to the line of scrimmage, 2 seconds. Now 1, gets the play off in time, looks to throw. Farah into triple coverage, overshoots Cipriano. 4th down upcoming, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Hillside wins the 3rd with another 6 points on the board. This time it was Udi Willis. It's 20-0. The Comets are 12 minutes away from their second ever sectional championship. We'll be right back from Rutgers here on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to News 12 Varsity Central Group 2 Championship, 4th and 6 from the 33. They will go once again. Farah rolls out right as we begin the 4th frame, but he'll be pushed in the backfield by the senior, Elijah Cotton. Another turnover on downs. This Hillside D has come to play. What can you say about this defense today? Pitching a shutout into the 4th frame against an offense that has been averaging more than 28 per contest. Put up 27 against a very tenacious Manasquan group. They've been scoring at will over the last few weeks, and they've had a tough time against the Comets. From their own 48, Hillside begins with a 20-0 lead here in the 4th quarter. Lewis, it'll be a loss in the backfield. Tackle by Nate Girella, the 2-year starter. at linebacker. Dan Safriano with you this afternoon. We're in the afternoon now, right? Almost. Still the morning. Only 11:45 for our 10 a.m. start. One of 4 that we are playing today from High Point Solutions Stadium, and we will have coverage for you in all 4. Bonavito nearly goes off. Didn't break the plane. Irby throws. Floats it down the near side for Biggins. It's an incomplete pass, even though he's still pulled in the catch. What can he do today? Even the catches that don't count, he makes. If you're just joining us, 20-0 lead. Biggins on a 4th and goal from the 2. Made it 6-0. Had an INT and then followed that up with a 36-yard touchdown reception. 2-pointer was good, 14-0. And into the second half, Willis had a huge gain from the air and then rushed in their 3rd score. As Ugo has been very quiet today offensively, he'll grab just 2, and it'll be 4th down. So back-to-back 3-and-outs. And Point Pleasant Boro, their second half defense has been very good. And offensively, and they gave up 3 touchdowns in this game and 10 times this year. Monmouth, the win against them. Against Monmouth Regional, 13-3. Only time they didn't give up a touchdown. But the last time this group surrendered 20 points in a contest was against Lakewood. And they gave up 28 and 21 in the first half. Again, 3-score game, it's not out of question. There's still time on the clock, 3 timeouts. Check that, 2 timeouts remaining for Point Pleasant Boro. And they'll begin from the 26-yard line. It's run by Gordon. Keeps moving the legs past the 40-yard line and piles forward to the 44. Gordon's biggest game was in that comeback against Lakewood. 197 yards on the ground, 30 carries, 2 touchdowns. Only time this season he's eclipsed 100. Farah flips it out to the wing. Cipriano, he's read and tackled by Biggins. Cipriano so elusive on the outside, and Biggins just went low on him, wrapped up those feet. Back to the 45 for a 2nd down and 9. For Cipriano, returning from a broken collarbone last year, stronger and healthier than he was a year ago. He just had 13 carries for 130. And in this season, 8 touchdowns over his last 4 and 600-plus rushing yards. They'll go up the middle, and it'll be an 8-yard pickup by Tanner Gordon. So a 3rd down and 1 to the 47 of Hillside. Offensive line, such a tight-knit group. Senior leadership, of course, is really good. And a 2-year starter like Farah crosses over for a 1st down. He's picked up almost every 1st down today for this team. Completion percentage up by almost 11% this season compared to last. Yards as well, another 100 in the air. But it's what he's been able to do with his legs. Flag on the play. We have said that a lot. Another false start on Point Pleasant Boro, backs him up another 5 yards. 1st and 15 from the 48. Right at the Rutgers logo. Cipriano fakes the pass, runs up the gap, through the middle of the field to the 40-yard line. Well, it was a nice fake. And he was looking to throw at first. A well-designed play up to the 40. That got those 5 back. So 2nd down and 7. Farah decides to go behind his center to the 36. The one negative when the passing game has not been there today. Again, just 1 interception, not many completions. When you're trailing by multiple scores and you are a run-heavy team, sometimes it's hard to come back. You need a big play. 3rd and 3. Tosses it over. Hits Cipriano. 1st down to the 26. Cipriano with that breakaway speed. I mean, he was the spotlight last week. 3 catches, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, which is a season high and career high in receiving yards. Also another couple of touchdowns on the ground. Right now, a big goose egg on the board with 7 to play. Farah rolls out near side. Throws it wide open. Touchdown! Kaminsky. 26-yard strike. Tossing it right over the secondary. His first touchdown grab of the season. And Point Pleasant Boro is on the scoreboard. Komanitsky, only his 2nd reception of the season, believe it or not. Bad snap, still get it off, but no good. Chiarello, who was 24 of 28, and actually when the ball was down and was still able to get it off, looks like they knocked into him, so it will be a roughing the kicker. So half the distance to the goal, and look to kick again. Again, you don't need the 2-point conversion at this point, especially considering that Hillside missed their last PAT. Chiarello was 3 of 4 last week. End over end. No good. Missed it wide right. So 20-6, 6:51 remaining. Point Pleasant Boro finally gets on the scoreboard against this tenacious Hillside D. And after 2 3-and-outs, now the Comet offense will look to kill off some of this clock. Under 7 to play here in the 4th. Point Pleasant Boro trailing 20-6. Hillside looked unstoppable through the first 3 quarters. Coach Grant telling me back when he was playing at Irving, only 4 teams made the playoffs that missed it 3 years by 7 power points. And have a chance to go. And his brother Darnell is an onside kick. It's loose and jumped on at the 45. Point Pleasant Boro says it's theirs. It is Boro ball. As the ball skipped around, it went right through the hands of Sass. Looks like Nick Helias was the one who was able to grab the pigskin and yank it away. So now some life. On the Hillside 45, Farah in the backfield and dragged back even further. But Benno Frimpong, 7 sacks coming into this contest.
44. A loss of 11. Second and 21.
They lost 11 yards. But Point Pleasant Boro still has the pigskin after the onside kick recovery. Play action. Farah drops it off. Giarello stopped at the 40. Another loss of 4 more yards. Boris Nicholas Ball. 3rd down and very long. 24. Their last 3rd down conversion was a TD. They need to get the ball up to the 35-yard line of Hillside. Hillside looking to grab this football back after losing it on the onside kick. Panthers will call a timeout. It'll be their 2nd charged timeout. So down to just 1, all 3 still remaining for Hillside. 5:35 to go here in the 4th quarter. 20-6 lead for Hillside over Point Pleasant Boro. Dan Savarino with you. Thanks so much for joining us. As we were mentioning right before the onside kick, and Coach Grant was playing at Irvington and didn't have a chance to actually get into the postseason. Said it was something he always wanted. You missed those playoffs in 3 years by 7 power points. But his brother Darnell with Shabazz, which is also live on News 12 Varsity, going to the 4th quarter for them. They were up 45-0, or 35-0, excuse me. In the North Jersey Section 2 Group 2. 2nd straight year they're playing in that championship game. So, pending 4th quarter results, could be a great sign for the Grant family. Would love a 3rd down stop. Farah on 3rd and 24. Rolls right, he'll throw, it's intercepted! Boris Nicholas Paul, the junior's 3rd INT, and in back-to-back games, he gets a pick. Just as that momentum was swinging to the Boro side, Hillside grabs it right back. Nicholas Paul, returning starter in all conference. Safety. They will begin from the 49 of Point Pleasant Boro. So it makes up for the onside kick with good defense as Biggins' carry is up to the 44, 5-yard pickup. The focal point of this offense back in the first half. This defense for Hillside, though, has been very good today. In their last game, 16 penalties to just 2. Flag after flag, and as Coach Grant said, they did not hang their head one bit. No time for that. They played hard, kept battling, and they get better under the adversity, as you just saw on the last couple of plays. 2nd and 5 from the 44. Ugu breaks the tackle, will flip the field, but still a loss. McNamara on the tackle, the core of this senior leadership on D, where they tackle for a loss. So they only lose 1 yard instead of potentially 2 or more. And they've done a pretty good job on Ugu. guy who had 1,100 yards coming into this game. Third down and 9 from the 48. 4 minutes and change remaining. Timeout, Hillside. Darby looked up, saw that couldn't potentially change the play much at the line. And asked his coach, we call a timeout at this point due to a delay of game. 3:55 to go. It'll be a third down and 9 upcoming. 2 timeouts remaining for Hillside, 1 for Point Pleasant Boro. And you can kind of assume if you put one in the end zone at this point and extend this drive, even if you get the first down, that will kill off even more time with just 1 timeout remaining for the team that is trailing. One of the goals coming into this game for the 10 a.m. start and whatnot, something that was very different for Hillside. They wanted to start off this game crisp. Don't sleep through the first half. Well, first quarter is when it kind of changed. Late in the first quarter. And in the second quarter, they exploded. 14 points. Third down and 9 from the 48. Right at the big R in the middle of the field. Biggins motions left to the slot. Irby looks left, now looks right, looking for Willis. Jump ball, incomplete. Gomanitsky, who just scored the TD. Strong coverage down the near sideline. So 4th down and 9, and a punt will come. Since the Willis touchdown to make it 20-0, every Hillside drive has been 3 and out, 3 consecutive times. Booming punt down the near side of the field and picked up. Cipriano from the 15, turns around, and he'll be downed right at the 7. He was trying to avoid a chance to start in that same field position. However, it was tough to try and pick that one up at that point. Already running backwards, his momentum was there. Would have taken a lot to turn around and didn't have the blocks upfield. Actually push him to the 8-yard line. Just 3 minutes and 37 seconds remaining. Only 1 timeout. Farrell looks to throw from the end zone. Caught by Cipriano. Darts up the near side of the field, past the 10 until the 12-yard line. All calls looking to be made on this field at this point. And not hustling up to the line of scrimmage at the point. A little surprised that is a methodical way to get up the field with 1 timeout and still within striking distance. All you need is 2 touchdowns. Cipriano on the fake. Incomplete, but pass interference is going to come. Emmanuel Sass is going to get charged against Komanitsky. They tried that play before with Cipriano, except he ran. The one pro you can say for Hillside at that point, this is not the National Football League. It is not a spot foul. So a 15-yard penalty is up to the 27. Still under 3 minutes to play and down 2 touchdowns. Of course, you want to conserve that timeout. As Farrell works under center from the right hash. Drops back. Now goes to the legs. has a blocker and up to the 34. Oh, he's so good at escaping the first and second tackle, but Hillside has been so quick to whoever has the football that it's been tough to break open big plays. Another run as Cipriano on the outside gets the first down, so that will at least stop the clock to move the chains to the 45-yard line. This game is far from over. You just need to score and score quickly. Play action. In the backfield, Ugu. Brian Ugu was showing blitz, and when Farah went play action, was on top of him immediately. 2nd and 17, under 2 minutes to play. 20-6 lead for Hillside. As one more defensive stand will put this game away, and Point Pleasant Boro is now out of timeouts. The Hillside fans are loving it. So at this point, if you're in the Panther huddle, again, you need that one big play to open this up. You'll be out of timeouts, then you need the onside recovery. That team has battled adversity this season. They know what they're doing, but right now, having to play from behind. Coach Grant for Point Pleasant Boro in this group has made his kids believe. He has said it every single week has been their own Super Bowl. Making the playoffs alone. Getting their first winning season since 2008. That alone was big. Then to win on the road at South River. And then beat Johnson in the semifinals. It has not been easy. So this crew of kids have really bought in. 2nd and 17 from the 38. Farah steps into a throw across the middle. McNamara's catch at midfield, and another 5 yards of yak to the 45 of Hillside. Right around where the marker is. Still no signal yet, and he's going to be short. So it'll be 3rd down and 1. Minute 20 and counting. Farah gets it over to Cipriano. He's got open room. Past the 25, he'll change direction. To the 20 now. Up the left seams before Ugu makes the tackle with Biggins. Right at the 17. Actually, will be the 13-yard line. After he cut back, and they'll just spike the football. 2nd and 10 will be upcoming from the 13. Still a minute and 8 seconds left. He already recovered an onside kick once. Need the 6 and need really the 7 here to make yourself more comfortable. One receiver on the right, that's Callender. Komanitsky, who has the lone touchdown today, to the left. Farah rolls left, pump fakes, finds some open room, crosses the 10, and is tackled right at the 7. Clock continues to run, though. No timeouts remaining. Down by 14. Third down, they'll spike it. So really, I guess all you can do at that point, instead of taking a quick shot, you need at least 4 yards to continue this drive in this game. Could come down to this one play. 4th and 4 from the 7. Farah works under center. 20-6. Point Pleasant Boro is trailing. Farah rolls out left, looking end zone. He's got the 6.
Touchdown, Farah.
So Farah's 7-yard run keeps hope for Point Pleasant Boro. They will just kick. It's again, all you need is 14. Giarello missed his last. Was 24 of 28 entering. Kick is up. It is good. So 20 to 13. No timeouts remaining for Point Pleasant Boro. And 42 seconds on the clock. It comes down to an onside kick. Boro recovered their last one. If you are just joining us, a 14-0 halftime lead, a first half, that was all Nairi Biggins. Had a pick, had 2 touchdowns in the first half alone. Second half, Booty Willis opened up the scoring in the third quarter on their opening drive. Since then, it's been nothing but 3 and outs for Hillside, and Point Pleasant Boro has scored 2 on their last 2 drives, or 2 to last 3 drives. The Hillside defense has been the story today, especially in the second half. But now an onside kick. The Panthers need the football. If Hillside recovers, it just takes a kneel. Here we go. Nervous energy on the near side of the field. That's Giarello. Will kick it to this near side. Takes a hop. Hillside has the football. Irby recovers, and the Comets are kneels away from their first sectional title in 37 years. "32 years ago was the last time that Hillside won a sectional championship, their lone one. 1985. A strong second quarter. Defense throughout, shutting down this offense of Point Pleasant Boro with big tackles for losses and a few sacks. One more kneel. They are loving life on this near sideline. Irby, who has been so good this season. With 3 seconds left, 2 and 1. That will do it. Hillside, sectional champions for the first time since 1985. The Grant family came into this Saturday with a chance of 2 sectional championships. While one is confirmed here. It's Barris Grant in his second season as head coach. Last year, tying for the most wins in 5 years. This season, their first playoff appearance and most wins since 2008. Capped off with a sectional championship in Central Group 2. The final score here from High Point Solutions Stadium. Hillside 20, Point Pleasant Boro 13. We'll be right back and talk to one of the victorious